Yo, and how's it going, Apple? I mean, welcome back to the Gaming Apple. So today we are reviewing the PvP side of the PTS patch notes version 7.0.2. God, that's a mouthful. Yeah, this is basically week 3 of the patch notes. Week 2 there was barely anything that changed. Week 1 there was some really significant changes. Scary changes on the proc side and on the mythical side of things. I honestly didn't have any real doubts. I think the changes that they were making were too obviously shit. Yeah, that's probably the way to say it. They're too obviously shit, and they were going to be changed. Not in week 2 because this was some big changes that needed to be changed, but I expected it in week 3 or 4, and a lot of the things that I actually expected to be changed have come true. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. So let's get right into it, because I actually think that they might have fixed procs. They might have fixed procs. Imagine procs being fixed. So yeah, I'm excited to review this. Let's get right into it. Okay, so we're going to start over the main general adjustments. So we've made the following adjustments to item set scaling. So sets that use weapon and spell damage now require 6,574 of either in order to reach their original values, up from 5,478, resulting in approximately a 17% reduction of power. Now, this is really good. That's literally nearly a 1,100 weapon and spell damage increase from PTS patch notes week 1. And this is important. This is an important change because basically 5,478 weapon spell damage is really attainable. I can get that without even trying, okay? Without even trying, especially on a stamina class. So yeah, 6,500, you actually have to try to get that, and then you're losing stats in other areas, like, you know, your recoveries, maybe your max stats, your penetration, so it doesn't come through as strong. And stacking above that is going to be very difficult, so I think this is really good. They had to increase that value, so I'm very happy that they've done that. Well done, ZeniMax, for listening to your community and upping that value. Okay, moving on to the next point. The sets that use magic and stamina now require 39,901 of either in order to reach the original values, up from 38,350. Now, in all honesty, I didn't have any issue with this. This is resulting in an approximate 4% reduction. Now, I didn't see any issue with that. Obviously, they've raised the cap a little bit. On the stamina build, you don't really see stamina stacking that high in magic, well, in stamina anyway, because you're kind of going for the penetration max weapon damage route. But in some builds you do see 40k stamina, but this is fine. I think this is more for the magic side, especially for those mag sorks and those mag blades, etc., that stack really high magic. But again, they lose their max spell damage when they do this. So honestly, I think this is fine. I'm happy with this. And then sets that use health now require 43,968 to reach their original values, up from 38,350, resulting in approximate 13% reduction. Now that is around 5,600, yeah, 5,618 increase in health needed. I really like this because sets like Crimson that will be going off health, that do a lot of damage when they reach their cap and give you a lot of healing. Yeah, this is very polarizing because you're just expecting people to stack really tanky high health builds. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this plays out, but definitely a reduction to the power there. Good on ZeniMax again. And I think they need to pay close attention to this, just in case those builds that do stack even higher. And then sets that use physical or spell resistances now require 30,680 of either, up from 27,890, resulting in an approximate 9% reduction. Now this is really good because basically everybody's running really high resistances, especially this patch, either with Fortified Brass or with that new set, that one piece that was going to give 10,000 resistances, but they've reduced that, and we'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, I don't really feel this is going to be too difficult for people to go from 27,000 to 30,000. But it's still nice to see that they're paying attention to this, and they've reduced it nonetheless. Then they've got some minor issues down there. Don't need to look at that. Okay. So Merciless Charge reduced the damage of this set by approximately 33%. Really nice to see there. This was a very polarizing set, so yeah, bring that down a bit, no issue. Let's scroll down a bit. Okay, so we're going to go into dungeon and arena sets. So Crimson Twilight reduced the damage done by this set by approximately 44%. Now this is really nice because what they have done is they have increased the health by 5,000 to reach the proc that you need, like for the max proc that you needed for this, and then they've reduced the damage that it does by 44%. So running a 100k health build or really high health build now with this set isn't going to be as effective, which is really nice to see because that damage, you heal off the amount of damage that you do. So you're doing a lot less damage, nearly half less damage, 44% less damage. So yeah, I don't think this is going to be as polarizing next patch, so really good to see this. And then Explosive Rebuck, again another health set, like scaling off health. That was going to be a troll set. This now applies a burning stats effect to enemies hit, but deals approximately 42% less damage. Now these are actually looking like tank sets. They're not looking like tank damage sets like they were before. So this is really, really nice to see. Then Icy Conjurer, this set now ticks every 2 seconds instead of 1 second, but the total coefficient remains unchanged except for the global reduction. So it does the same damage, but every 2 seconds instead of 1 second. No real change there, just more damage over less period of time. Sorry, more damage but ticks less as frequently. Then Unleashed Terror, this set now applies the Hemorrhage status effect, which is basically a kind of heal, not a heal, a little bleed, but each tick now deals approximately 46% less damage. So the total damage will be 46% less from its original damage, but it gets the hemorrhage bleed as well. So I'm curious to see how this really affects the total scale on this. I think obviously they won't. The hemorrhage is kind of like set. It's hard to scale that any higher, but you can scale the Unleashed Terror higher. So they've just reduced how much you can scale this and kind of put this. They're trying to like cap how much damage this can do, which is nice to see. They're really trying to bring these procs down. You can see this. They tried to do it in PTS patch notes 1. They were like, we'll put caps on them, so people can't go higher than them. They realized really fast that they messed up, and now they are properly upping these caps in week 3, and I'm really happy to see this. Yeah, PvP is looking good for the next patch. Okay. Then the Widowmaker, this set now lasts for 10 seconds with 10-second cooldown instead of 5-second cooldown, basically giving you more uptime when you have it, but then more of a cooldown. It's just giving you some more time to work around with the set. Okay, so moving on to the Monster Mask changes then. So Scourge Harvester reduces the damage dealt by this set by approximately 30%. Now, I don't really feel like this is too much of a nerf, because it still gives you your healing received. I think it was 18% healing received, or yeah, from the tether. But you did steal health from them, and I think it was like 9,000 odd health that you steal from them. So just reducing how much health you can steal, but you still get that increased healing received. So I still think this set is going to be really powerful. Furrican increased the damage dealt by this set by 22%. Now originally, this did no damage. Like, you never really felt this damage done. But now it's got a 22% damage increase. I doubt we'll actually feel this, but obviously they're just trying to add a little bit of pressure to the set. So okay, I think they felt like this set needed a bit of love. This set used to be very polarizing. Everybody was running it. So I think they're being very careful with the Furrican set, and just slowly trying to bring it back into somewhat relevance. Mythic items then. So, Dark Dealer's Feat. Now, this is something that I talked about in my Mythic items review video the other day. Now, this basically gave you 1,500 health, magic, and stamina after the 10 stacks. So, you get a stack every 2 seconds. So after 20 seconds, you'd have an extra 1,000 health, magic, and stamina. And I said, as a Mythic item, this wasn't strong enough. I didn't feel like this would be chosen. Sorry, pardon me. So what they've done now is they've reduced the health, magic, and stamina granted from the set down to 88, down down from 150, but increase the max stats from 30. Now that is approximately 2,700 resources of health, magic, and stamina there, but over 60 seconds. So it takes 60 seconds to get there, but you get around 2,700 stats. And now this is what I was saying. I said that they really probably need to buff this up to about 2,500 max stats to actually see people using it. And yeah, the developer comment here then, they put, previously the set didn't bring enough power to the table and had a very easy interaction case. While wanting to sell the concept of getting stronger the longer you stay in combat, the previous 20 seconds cap felt too low really, to grant larger bonuses. With this new 60 second build-up, we can reward much more resources than before, hopefully making this set more fun and impactful. And I think they've done it there. I think this set will be more fun to use. You will get that feel that they're trying to play from this mythic item, and those stats aren't going to be any joke. 2,700 of all stats after 60 seconds is going to be really nice to see, especially for those max stats builds. So I think, yeah, good job on that set. I think that's doing its job there. Then the Gaze of Sithis, the set that everybody has been talking about. So reduce the max health granted from this set down to 3,276. Yeah, down from 5,000. Now, 5,000 was too much. Yeah, 5,000 was way too much. So 3,200, that's still a lot of health. I think people are still going to choose it for that reason. Reduce armor granted to 4,000, down from 10,760. Now, I wasn't really going to run this set anyway because I love blocking. I would have run it on a couple builds for sure because it was really strong, but I wouldn't have run it on every build. But now, for the people that were going to run it on most of their builds, I don't think they will be as much, because that's 6,000 armor reduction, a 1,800 health reduction, a 6,000 armor reduction, and now you can't block. I still feel like it'll have its place for builds that don't block at all, but yeah, it's a heavy helmet, so you can't run a monster set with this piece. So I don't see this being as polarizing as people once thought it was going to be. So I'm really happy about this change. I didn't really want to see this coming into PvP. I wasn't really going to run it, but I didn't want to see this come into PvP anyway, at the way it was. So yeah, good on them. And then they've increased the health recovery granted to 10,000, up from 500. Now this is something that I pointed out in my previous Mythic items review, because basically, they say this in the developer comment, now that Battle Spirit has ingrained mitigations against stacking health recovery, basically in line with healing received, so yeah, reducing health recovery in PvP, we've opted to take a much more balanced approach to this set's bonuses, equalizing all three of them rather than weighing for armor and health. With this, the goal is to have the set be more balanced for builds who are using it to gain tons of survivability while ignoring main drawbacks of the set, since many builds may not block frequently to begin with. And yeah, I can definitely see this being used. I really can. And I don't think this is going to be really polarizing. I'm happy with this. Maybe a few tweaks in the future, keep an eye on this. But at the state it was originally, I knew that wasn't going to come in. 10,000 is just like an eyesore. I think they were just trying to hit hard with this, get people intrigued. But I think they got people interested in the wrong way, and people were really firing back at this. So yeah, it's nice to see that they really reacted to this, and they're paying really close attention to the mythic items coming in next patch, as long with the procs. Now, Harbiner's Waiting Hilt. They've increased the critical sight chance to 125, up from 119 per stack. Reduced the critical damage done by 1% per stack, down from 2%. Now, so this set now causes you to lose 5 stacks upon taking direct damage rather than 1. So this is only a 5 stacks. You only get 5% critical damage at the end of it. So in PvP, you lose all those stacks straight away. Interesting. But it now also has a 1 second cooldown to help prevent losing all your stacks in versus player situations when getting hit by multiple attacks at once. I mean, the 5% crit damage I don't think is enough to merit this over Malakath or the other mythics. I think maybe for some builds the crit chance will be nice, and then the 5% crit damage. But I don't really see this being a PvP set. And then in the developer comments, they said this set was originally presented as a don't get hit the game, but in PvP encounters, that is the ideal gameplay to begin with. By keeping that in mind, as well as massive difference in attack cadence between PvE and PvP, we've readjusted the rewards and penalty of this set to help bring a tighter balance between the two, with a more engaging risk of running the set. I still think this set will be valid for snipe builds. I do. Gank, snipe build, I still think this can be valid. So interesting to see how this plays out. An interesting change there by ZeniMax. Now, Shapeshifters change increases the health, magic, and stamina granted from the set while transformed to 1,707, up from 1,206, which is a 501 increase of all base stats. I honestly think that's a decent increase, because I didn't feel like the base stats were good enough to begin with. And in the developer comments here, you see they say, previously this set wasn't offering much to werewolves. I can actually see that, as the stat game was pretty low, yeah, and the cost reduction felt pretty much less impactful, since your main goal with the ultimate was to never leave it to begin with. So yeah, I can see that it wasn't as good for werewolves, and this buff will help them out a little bit. But then for Bone Goliath and Blood Scion, you both would receive much more effectiveness out of the cost reduction, because they're coming in and out of the set, so it's nice to rotate the set for them. And then while the max stats are less relevant, since they have large stat steroids built in already, by pumping up the stat boost a little more, we can help out the pack a bit without making the tyrants even more tyrannical. So yeah, that's nice to see. I think that's justified buff. Don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. Yeah, I'm happy with that. No issues there. And I think there's one more minor thing. They buffed up Vicious Death radius. So they've increased the radius of Vicious Death explosion from the set to 5 meters, up from 4 meters, to better align with visual effects. So yeah, Vicious Death, bomb radius, it's a bit better now. So we're going to be getting some wider bombs, basically. But yeah, that is basically about it for the PvP side of these patch notes, guys. Let me know what you think of these changes down in the comment section down below. I'm really happy about these changes. I am a lot more excited for the next patch and for the new chapter than I was before. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video or you found it any way helpful, please make sure to smash that like button, drop a comment, because I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm really curious, yeah, like I said, to hear what you guys think. And then subscribe to stay up to date with all my latest content here at the Gaming Apple, and to become part of the Apple Army. And then if you want to go a step further, guys, come join the Discord. The link for the Discord is down in the description below. Without any further ado, guys, I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Bye.